This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome to another Mocha Money Monday, brought to you by the Phenomenal Hughes community and our P3 elite coaches. I'm Ashley Scott, your host, and I am joined today by Miss Nikki Lewis, the founder of Grant University and a professional with over 20 years of experience in both economic development and real estate development. I'm super excited for us to get into our topic today, 1,000,000 ways to make $1 million. You know that Mocha Money Monday is all about how to get to the bag and increase your knowledge, help you with your mindset, and to be able to become a bankable CEO. So I am excited to introduce you to Miss Nikki Lewis today as we get into this very exciting topic, because now you will have no reason not to be able to get to the $1 million benchmark. Let's take it away, Miss Nikki. Tell the people about who you are and let's get started.
Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for having me here today. So my name is Nikki or Nicole Lewis. I'm with Grant University. And out of COVID, there was kind of a necessity to kind of help some small businesses and entrepreneurs kind of reshift and pivot and find other ways and opportunities to kind of help, meet their financial and revenue goals. So we created an organization to provide technical assistance, which includes grant writing, but also fundraising, and also just some procurement opportunities and bringing some awareness to other ways and creative ways that people can kind of increase their funding and kind of diversify their funding. And so we're going to get after it today and talk about a couple of things. One of the things we're going to talk about a little bit is the metrics, like kind of where we are as a community in terms of wealth. We'll define some things. I just want to make it clear when I'm talking about making $1 million in revenue, I just want to make sure that it's clear that we're not talking about net income. And then we're going to do a little bit of work. I have an activity and a worksheet here and a little example that will hopefully help you kind of just get thinking. And so the purpose of this today is just to get you all motivated and encouraged and just to give you some ideas on, what you can do to kind of increase and diversify your revenue. So without further ado, I kind of introduced myself already, and I had a little icebreaker scheduled. And my question is, what is your go-to motivation song? And just a fun fact about music has such a huge effect on the brain that it's banned in some sports, that it makes athletes kind of perform better, specifically runners. They're banned from listening to music while they run because there's a possibility they might increase their speed and their pace. So my question for you today is what's your go-to motivational song? Because we're trying today to think about ways we can get encouraged and get excited, and I'll share mine. But if you have one, Ashley, I'd love to hear what's your go-to motivational song and any specific lyrics in that song that kind of just resonate with you and make you feel like, you can get motivated and you can do it, and doesn't necessarily have to be if you had a bad day, but just what's your, I got to get going, I got to do this. What's your go-to song?
For me, it's anything by Tasha Cobb, but specifically right now, there's a song that she has with Lecrae out here that's called By Your Power. Because for me, I know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and that whenever there is something, an obstacle, some adversity that is just too big, I know that through God's power, he will make a way. So that's definitely my motivational song.
Absolutely true. I have a gospel song also. Mine is Mary, Mary Walking. And specifically, they kind of talk about rushing. And I have a tendency to kind of hurry and be hurried. And so it says, it just reminds you that you can slow down and kind of just take a minute and appreciate where you are and that you're moving forward, even if it doesn't feel like you're making, progress as fast as everybody else. So
that's a good song.
Thanks.
I love
and
that
thank
song.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah. I wanted everyone just to take a minute, and this is kind of just a shameless plug. And if you are not already, one of the great things about this, the P3 group and the Mocha Mondays is having a support network and networking with other professionals, even in your affiliations or your credentialing groups with mentors and coaches and partners and alliances. those relationships are very important. So you should foster and continue to grow those relationships. And as we get kind of further in this presentation, you'll see where there are other opportunities for you to increase revenue by reaching out to these groups. So as we're talking about these things, think about who you can be marketing these things, these products and services to, and who you can be reaching out to kind of collaborate and kind of strengthen some of the services that you're already providing, and then create some additional channels for yourself through your support network. So I'm glad that you're here with us today. For those of you who are watching in the future, just make sure that you're utilizing these networks like P3 to help you grow your business. That's what we're here for, to kind of share and grow and just take each other to another level.
And I want to jump in real fast, Ms. Nicole, and just remind people that they can get connected with us at phenomenalhues.com. That is our global network and social networking site, so that you can make these important connections with coaches, mentors, and potential partners. So I'm going to go ahead and slide to the side and let you keep on keeping on, Ms. Nicole.
Oh, no problem. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. So please be sure, if you have not already signed up, or if you're not registered, if you're not participating on the level that you should be, please do that. It is very important. And one of the things I promised was the metrics when we kind of talked about what we're going to do. And so BIPOC, which means Black and Indigenous people of color, and this is where this information came from. I just want to kind of talk about the proportion of wealth creation. Our market share from post-Civil War, and as of a study done in 2017, it only doubled from 0.5% to 1%. So, what are we doing? What has changed? Not much has changed. And so we kind of have to look at, some of the barriers and what has happened. And some of those barriers to these higher income potential is the low social equity, the knowledge gap, a scarcity mindset, underbidding, underpricing, and I'm learning that people aren't even bidding at all. There are a lot of procurement opportunities where I am in Florida, and I'm learning that one of the reasons that we provide technical assistance is because they need minority participation, and they're just not getting it because we're just afraid to kind of participate. So one of the things I want you to think about is what opportunities are there, and who can you partner with to kind of get in front of these opportunities or take advantage of these opportunities, because they're out there for us. And there has been a big push in the last several years to kind of make sure that we are participating in these opportunities. So it's important to do this. I do have some receipts, and if you can bear with me for just one moment, I'll pull this up, and we can. I'll just quickly go through what some of the what our other counterparts are doing in terms of revenue by ethnic groups. And our Asian counterparts have over half a billion businesses, and they generate over $863 billion in revenue. Our Hispanic counterparts have over 300,000 businesses in the United States, and they generate almost $500 billion in revenue. Our American Indian and Native Alaskans have about 25,000 businesses that generate about $33 billion in revenue. And even our Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islanders have about 7,000 businesses that generate about $11 billion. But when it gets to the Native, the African American and Black population that have about 125,000 businesses, they really don't have any receipts. We can't find any statistics that show how much we generate in terms of revenue. And they're saying that's because of the good majority of the businesses that we create in our community are healthcare and social service sector. And so they really aren't generating that much income. So how can we change that? What can we do to kind of break that divide or bridge that gap? And that's kind of why we're here today. That's what we want to talk about today. So let's just get into revenue, because we're talking about 1 million ways to make $1 million. And I just want to be clear and define some things, and let's define revenue. And I'm just talking about the total of all income. We're not talking about after expenses. We're not talking about, net income, what you take home. We're talking about all of the income that you generate from all of your various activities And this, just to be clear, it's not to be confused with net income. Does anyone have any questions about that before we move forward? And then I'll just give a few examples of revenue. We're talking about sales. We're talking about income generated from consulting, services, commissions, products, subscriptions. These are just a few that I could think of. You know, you have some. I think I heard someone say something, so I paused. And so we're talking about sales. So if you have my business is consulting. So a good majority of my business I make on consulting, but I'm limited. I'm a mom, I have 2 kids. I can only do so many one-on-one appointments. I can only do so many one-on-one consulting appointments with groups. So I have to find other ways to generate revenue. So products. What can I create that'll be something that kind of has like a life of its own? So they have these evergreen courses where I can record some of my courses and I can put them online, and I can create a product where people can get my courses after the fact. I can create a subscription service, which I have. And I have various levels of subscription services where people can get grant alerts or procurement opportunities, and that's sent to them automatically. What other services can you offer? How can you make commissions? What other kind of partnerships? How can you leverage your relationships with others to generate more income? And so some things that I've been thinking about adding is some additional products. You know, what additional products can I add to what I do? So I thought about putting a fundraising journal together, and that's something that I could sell, something that's easy to do, that I can generate some income, and it still be something that's within my wheelhouse and something that's related to my service that would give my clients and my customers something of value. When you're thinking about what you're going to put in your revenue wheelhouse here's some things that you might want to consider. What's your skill set? What are the opportunities for growth, and what are the costs? So going back to some of these examples, if you were selling products, you would want to make sure that when you selected a product, it's not something that's going to cost you, a tremendous amount of money to put out or a tremendous amount of money to market or to get out. So when I talked about the products that I was going to create, one of them is a journal that I just mentioned to you before. It's something that I have to do probably once a year, and I'd have to make sure that I bring it current. And it's something that I would work with a partner to make sure that I got out through Amazon or whatever. And hopefully, the goal is to have a limited amount of activity on my end to kind of get that product out there. It's something like the evergreen courses that would be out there, and I would market to customers and clients and say, hey, I have this out here, and that doesn't take away from my consulting time. That's something that someone can get at their own. They can watch on their own pace, and it doesn't interfere with my schedule, but it's money that I can be making, like they say, kind of while you sleep or while you're not actively doing anything, passive income. So does anyone have any examples to join the call of passive income or things that they're doing, in their business that they're adding to their revenue sources? They might just have been a sales or a service business, and now they're adding some subscriptions or some other things to their business.
Yeah, Nicole, I'll jump in. As a real estate agent, most of my money comes from commissions, and I've started to really look at my courses and creating a community that's subscription based around people who are interested in investing as buying land, or who are interested in investing in real estate opportunities that can generate passive income. And being a part of my freedom and legacy building community gives them access to information, networking, and potential deals that come across my table. So those are some of the things that I'm doing to expand how I bring in revenue into my business as a real estate agent.
It's a great example. I know some real estate agents who they use their subscription. They have they put out what they call, foreclosures used to be really big in Florida, probably 2008 till probably 2012. And so they got a lot of their they offered a free subscription, which promised the recipients a list by county of all of the active foreclosures that were going on in the area. That allowed them to upsell their other services, property management, also sales, and then also allowed them to cross-market to homeowners who found themselves facing foreclosure, knowledgeable and reputable realtor to work with to help them list their property prior to it being foreclosed on. So just think about all of the different the life cycle of your business and how you can find other opportunities to kind of increase and generate revenue in a meaningful way. That will allow you kind of some freedom and some flexibility also in your schedule, because that's, being wealthy also is a definition of having the life that you kind of want to have also. That makes sense. So really, I just want to get to the worksheet. That's kind of why we're here today. And this is the activity that we have for you. And this is just to get your juices flowing, like I said before. And so this is several different ways to make $1 million. And you're not limited to these ways. These are just 10 examples of how this could look for you. And so what I'd like everyone to do is just to kind of review this chart and then select some paths in this chart or some ways in this chart that they can actually make this work for them. So on this side is more like a product, and this would be more like a service or a subscription. But for those of you, like you said, you had a commission-based business, you do real estate, but I think you're with Keller Williams, and a lot of the real estate companies, they have conversion charts that make it really clear by each kind of item, what it is that they're doing, how many of those it'll take for you to convert to an actual sale. So outside of those considerations, we don't really want to go that deep. That can be your homework, but I would like to get your juices flowing and think, what you could be doing, what services that you offer that you could generate your $1 million in a year. And again, this is $1 million before expenses. So just as an example, if you had a subscription service, if you had someone pay, if you had 5,000 people pay $17 a day for 12 months, you'd have your $1 million. If you have 1,000 people for $85 a day over 12 months, you could get your, $1 million. So let's take your example, Ashley. Let's say you have 100, I think they call it a sphere. They still call it a sphere of influence in your sphere, in your circle. So you have 1,000 people that are in your customer relationship management software that you can send something out to. Are you doing 1,000 people to buy a $1,000 product? Or are you going to create a monthly subscription service where you offer your newsletter and some item of value, and they pay $85, a month for that service to get $1 million? So that's what we're here to talk about today, and to kind of give everyone a chance to kind of get their juices flowing in that area.
So for our listeners who might not be seeing this graphic, the worksheet talks about how if 5,000 people buy a $200 project, that's going to get you to your $1 million in revenue. Or if they pay $17 a month over 12 months, and you have 5,000 people paying that $17 a month, that'll get you into $1 million. Now, on the opposite side, sometimes you don't have 5,000 people. It's going to take a lot of work to get to 5,000 people. And in that case, you might want to have a higher price product. So you might have 300 people buy a product for $3,333, or pay $278 per month for 12 months. Now, I have actually purchased products such as coaching and consulting that have that high of a price point. So it's definitely not impossible or unheard of that you could be making this $1 million in a year. It just comes down to the math.
Exactly. It is just math. And again, these are just some examples. And so if anyone would like to share an example, we can just walk through and try an example. So I have a product for $200, and it's a grant readiness course. So the goal would be to find 500 people to do my readiness course. 5,000 people, to do my readiness course. Well, my time doesn't allow me to do my 2-hour readiness course for that many people. I have too many time commitments. And so that's an opportunity for me to take my course online and offer it, and then hope to reach 5,000 people that'll pay $200 for my grant readiness course. Conversely, I could offer the grant readiness as a monthly workshop and charge someone $17 a month, or an organization $17 a month, and have 5,000 companies do that over 12 months, and then I would still have my $1 million. So does anyone have any examples or scenarios they want to work through, and we can just check the math and try it out? I see Laura, your hand's up.
Good morning. So for myself personally, this is pretty much my journey for 2024. It's my goal to make my first million like liquid, to actually, see it sitting in an account. And so with that being said, I've already created a course centered around a lot of things that I talk about, and the things that I teach typically around business formations, and, all of those different things. So my first course is how to write a highly effective business plan. So that course is starting out on a sale at $4.99. So I know with it being at $4.99, I need about 2,000 people to buy that product based on the sale. But I know that the sale is only going to last I'm going to keep the sale out there for about 60 days. Once the sale is over, it's going to go back to its regular price of $9.99, which will then lessen the number of people. So I'm hoping that during the sale, once I start promoting, I get, at least half those people to make the purchase initially. And then I'll just be working towards the next half, throughout the rest of the year. So ultimately, that's my goal. And I've created like some newsletters. I have a newsletter that those same people will have the offer of subscription for, as well as a couple ebooks that I've written that will be like added to the sauce in my upsells. So kind of put a couple upsells up in there, and then a subscription opportunity. And then I have the product that's starting out at $4.99.
That's great. So what Laura is talking about is diversifying your revenue streams, which is very important. One of the things you want to make sure is that you're not limited to just one revenue source. So you heard her say things like she's upselling, she's offering a discount, she's going to have it at this price for a certain amount of time, and then it's going to go to its regular price. So those are things that you should all be doing to consider as marketing tools or tasks to kind of help drive your sales. Does anyone else have any other examples they'd like to share? Uh-oh. I'm so sorry about my class.
Well, I do. I teach a course, How to Buy Land, and my course right now is $97. So for me, I know I need to get at least 10,000 people to be interested in this course, and that does take a lot of work. But after they go into the course, I upsell them, like Laura talked about, into my community, and that community is $42 a month. And so that is how I can generate that same kind of income where I'm going to be able to get to that million. If I can get 2,000 people to choose to join the community, that can be $1 million. So those are some of the things that I'm doing, is starting with that trigger wire product, that tripwire product, that $97 course, and then moving them into my subscription community.
Gotcha. I think one thing that we didn't get a chance to do is just kind of recognize everybody on the call. And since we're here, one of the things we talked about is networking. Oh, Laura, I see you got your hand up. I'll pause before I get back to that. I'm sorry, Laura, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I forgot to lower it after I answered.
Oh,
It's okay.
no worries. Well,
Yeah.
well, what I just wanted everyone to do is just to be sure that they put their name and at least the name of their business. Thank you. Today's my birthday. I broke my glasses. I look super crazy today, but thank you guys for having me. But everyone should be putting their name and their business in the chat. These opportunities are opportunities for us to network and collaborate with each other. And so I'll be the first to make sure that my name and my business is here. But before we end the call, and after you tell me if this is appropriate, is it appropriate for everyone to just go around and say who they are in their business and, you know, how we can support them and possibly, you know, get them some more business?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on the call, this is a podcast. So if you're going to share your name and information, make sure that you give them your website, something that you're comfortable with the general public having, because this will be on Spotify, Apple Music, and all of the podcast sites. So feel free to share your name and a website where people can find you. And I'll go first. I'm Ashley Scott. I'm a real estate agent based in Atlanta, Georgia. I help families who are interested in buying their first home, their second home, or investing in real estate and investing in land. And you can reach me and book a call with me by visiting calendly.com/Ashley Scott KW. You can also visit ashleyscottinspires.com.
And again, I'm Nicole Lewis with Grant University. We provide technical assistance in the areas of grant writing, fundraising, and research. I can be reached at grantuniversity.org. I'm going to just start calling people because that's just who I am. So, Laura, I see.
I just opened my mic. Good morning. My name is Laura Riley Cooper. I am the CEO of Laura Co. Inc. My company has been around since 2006. I consult with different people with regard to starting up their business, scaling their business, and also with the focus on entertainment, whether it be film and TV or music. And I have a new website that I'll be launching October 1st called asklori.com, because typically that's what people do. They always call my phone, they hit my line, ask me a million questions. Now they can subscribe.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Looks like we have a couple others. Esther, did you want to share? And if you don't, it's okay. It's just an opportunity for you to put yourself out there, practice your elevator pitch.
Hi,
it's always important.
Hi, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Yes,
ma'am.
So I'm Princess Akria and I'm from Ghana. So I'm a diet coach. I provide nutritional support and guidance for individuals. And also I coach women on how to cook with natural herbs and spices without the use of MSGs, artificial flavors, and processed ingredients. So that's my area of specialty. And I can be reached on IG as GoGreenOD and GoGreen_OD. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else who would like to share? I see an iPhone and a Zoom user, but I'm not sure if those are just for recording purposes. So.
Well, we have reached sorry. Somebody
No, I was just going to say, I think that's all that I had to share. I don't know if anybody else said anything. I was just going to say, I think that concludes what I had to share. I'll make sure that this worksheet, and also there's a supporting worksheet that kind of goes through the total units. It gives you a goal and a smarter goals worksheet. I'll get that to Ashley to make sure that anyone who wants that can absolutely have that to kind of help plan for 2024. And don't wait for 2024. Go ahead and start now. Quarter 4 starts for most of us October the 1st. So you got about a week to get ready and start implementing some of these things now. So thanks again for having me. It was a pleasure being here. I hope everybody has a great week. And thanks again, Ashley.
Thank you again, Ms. Nicole Lewis of Grant University, for being our guest today on Mocha Money Monday. I am so grateful that you shared these insights around a million ways to make $1 million. Please take some of these insights with you. Start looking at how you can generate additional revenues and streams of income for your business so that you can taste that $1 million mark. And again, I want to first say thank you for coming on your birthday, Miss Nicole. So happy birthday for you being here with us. I'm very grateful. And for all of our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Mocha Money Monday, brought to you by P3 Elite Coaches and our Phenomenal Hughes Community and Global Network. Go to phenomenalhughes.com and please make sure that you are engaging and interacting with our coaches and other members in our global network. Again, thank you, Miss Nicole. Thank you to Wellson's Financial, our sponsor for our Mocha Money Mondays and our P3 Elite Coaches. And we'll see you again next week at 8:30 here on Zoom and out there in the world. Thank you for listening. We look forward to continuing to make you a bankable CEO. Peace, everybody.
Good one.